When I say good cinema, who do you think of? Martin Scorsese? Ridley Scott? Taika Waititi? I'd bet you think of Quentin Tarantino. Born in 1963 Tennessee, Tarantino has always had a passion for production. He wrote his first screenplay, Captain Peach Fuzz and the Anchovy Bandit, at just 14 years old. His love for film and television only grew from here, eventually blossoming when he landed his first job in Hollywood as a production assistant. Tarantino's first commercial film was birthed when he presented famous producer Lawrence Bender with a script for an unnamed heist film. Bender forwarded the script to colleagues in the industry and eventually secured funding for what we now know as Reservoir Dogs. Since the film's release in 1992, Tarantino has only officially directed 8 more films. However, over the years, he's slowly formed and refined his now iconic style that sets him apart from the rest of Hollywood. The core of this style's development and modern structure is the topic of this analysis. The single-room setting of Reservoir Dogs and The Hateful Eight may not feature in his every film, but is still a core trait of Tarantino's style. Were these films not set near entirely in a single room, I think Tarantino would be a very different director today. A reminder that spoilers for many of Quentin Tarantino's films will be discussed today. The way Tarantino manipulates the narrative convention of setting in these films is masterful and deliberate. It generates this claustrophobic atmosphere that provides a breeding ground for the distrust and betrayal which prevail throughout both films. In Reservoir Dogs, Tim Roth's character, Mr. Orange, is an undercover cop planted within the heist crew. On the other hand, the traitors in The Hateful Eight are a gang of bandits disguising themselves with the aim of rescuing one of their members from custody. Everybody's trapped in the same room as everybody else, and they all know that at least one of the others is a traitor. Leaving the room would mean certain death, so they're forced to advance the plot, lest they're bitten by snakes in the grass. The setting isn't meant to be the focus of the film. You're not meant to go, oh, they're out in the desert, this must mean, or, the nightclub symbolizes the... No. These settings are designed to be bare bones enough that attention is instead given to the dialogue and acting, but that they still have a level of meaning. I think that Tarantino's use of single-room setting is still a key part of his style, despite not being in many of his films, because it was such a central feature in his first film. Was Reservoir Dogs not set in that one warehouse, he wouldn't have gotten the same experiences or ideas from doing it. I'll say one last thing on this topic. What other films can you think of that take place entirely in one room? Non-linear storytelling is a cornerstone of the Tarantino formula. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, and The Hateful Eight all feature non-linear storytelling. I'll focus on Pulp Fiction here, because events being out of order synergizes particularly well with all the different little storylines going on at the same time in that movie. Pulp Fiction really has 3 storylines. One following the adventures of Vincent and Jules, one detailing Boxer Butch's search for his watch, and another following Vincent's relationship with the wife of Marcellus Wallace. Events in the film are extremely out of order. They should happen like this, but they actually happen in this order. Tarantino uses non-chronological storytelling to keep his audience engaged and help understand how all the different storylines are connected. Every time a scene ends, you're left wondering, what happens next? We want to know what happens after Vince and Jules murder this man. We want to know if Butch honors his agreement with Marcellus. We want to see if Vincent gets punished for letting Mia almost die. I mean, the movie literally opens on a robbery not addressed until the very end of the film. Every scene leaves the audience questioning how this fits into the puzzle, and the story's non-linear structure supports this. The third and final element of the Tarantino style I'll briefly discuss is the code of acting. Think of some actors in Tarantino films. Uma Thurman, Tim Roth, Samuel L. Jackson, Harvey Keitel, Michael Madsen, Brad Pitt, Tarantino himself even. The list goes on. Every single one of those actors has been in at least 2 of Tarantino's films, and you'll eventually come to recognize them. Why does Tarantino keep using these actors over and over again? It's because it builds their character as an actor in his films, but also because he knows who he is. He's an auteur. He intentionally uses them as part of his style. When I think Samuel L. Jackson, I don't think of Nick Fury. I think of Jules Winfield or Major Marquise Warren. When I hear John Travolta, I think of Vincent Vega. If I see Michael Madsen, I wonder, what kind of psychopath is he playing this time? This video is already getting long, so I think I'll leave it here. I'd like to thank all of my wonderful Patreons for making videos like these possible, and I hope you took something away from this video. Until next time.